Okay, today we're going to put together a shelf like this one. It's every bit as tall as me. It stands 72 inches tall. I chose not to put the top shelf up real high because I like actually having the bars there so I can lean stuff against them. So we're gonna build one of these shelves, another one, and it's gonna go over here where that red chair is sitting. So this is gonna be a long form video. So if you have trouble sleeping, maybe this will be a good one to play while you're trying to take a nap. Anyhow, oh, and just a quick plug for my sponsor. The website is www.backdoorsale.com. The only tool you need for this job is a utility knife or a box cutter, because put the insulation in there, and I'm just going to dump everything out on the floor here. They provide tools, give you a couple pair of gloves, and this little plastic mallet. And I'll show some close-ups here in a little bit. Different types of framing. It's snapped together, essentially. These are the vertical pieces. They do provide you an instruction assembly and instruction booklet, but we won't worry about that this time since I've already been through it. Down here for a couple of close shots, vertical pieces, more vertical, and then these is what allows you to connect the vertical pieces together to get the 72 inches of height. And then they give you some little snaps that go in the holes to ensure that those don't slide around. And then these pieces here is what connects the shelving together in the middle. So being there's 5 shelves, there should be 5 of these things. And that's what gives you the reinforcement. So they're all there. That's what gives you the reinforcement on for the weight that goes on the shelves. Because these pieces, when I first got this thing, I thought there ain't no way that's going to support anything. But once these shelving boards have these under the middles, and then they're supported all the way around. By the way this is designed, there's a ledge here, and so by the time the shelf it fits down in there, I'll show you. The whole shelf fits down into it like a tray. So there's a little bit of a lip there. So anyway, we'll go at it here with putting some stuff together. Now they have a recommended order, so what you see me do may not be 100% correct, but we're gonna go with it since I'm all you got for doing this. So there are some little caps. And these are the little bits and pieces that hold these angles in place, keep them from slipping around. They give you a couple of drywall anchors. If you when you get the shelf built, you can anchor it to the wall you're putting it next to. My opinion is that's optional, but if you're concerned about safety and maybe small children tipping a shelf over, then obviously you'd want to use those. And then the caps that go on top of the angled pieces. I'll get one out here. So you can kind of see it. So you should get basically 8 of these things to cover all the ends. Actually get more than that, because some people want, rather than make one big tall shelf, they might want 2 shorter shelves. So that would be, and they give you 4 additional, actually 8 additional ones. So there's 16 of them things in there, I believe. So, all right. I am not going to wear these gloves. I did on the first make, but the size of my hand compared to the size of these gloves, they are almost made for a child. I mean, they'll stretch. I actually did, well, just for fun, I'll show you. We'll put one glove on right hand here. They will stretch, so they'll fit somebody that's got big hands. But they make me feel hot, so I'm not going to wear them for this build. But there you go. They give you a couple of decent gloves to use. All right, so I like the bottom shelf to be as close to the floor as possible. So I start off trying to get the platform or the square arranged. You get the, I'm putting it together wrong here. So, and they give you this little hammer. So, essentially, and I'm not going to do it here because I don't have anything under this, but you hammer that down to get those pegs in there tight. So that's the reason for the little plastic mallet. So I can grab one of these cardboard little squares and use that to hammer down onto, so I'm not putting dents in the floor. So there we go. We got this corner together. So this will be the bottom. And it's a little flimsy right now, but as more of it comes together, the more sturdy it will become. So I'm going to lean it. Get 2 more together to where they look like that. And I've got that upside down. I've got this piece upside down. So I need to fix that. Lean it up right there. I'm going to put the other one together. The other half of it. Helps if you got an extra hand. So I'll just lean this one up with the other one. So essentially the goal is to get kind of a base, at least the base shelf in, the bottom shelf, so it'll help hold it together while you're putting it together. Move all these parts over a little further so I got room to work here. Alright, one of the long parts together. Get That's gonna want to. This is where having another person helping, because it's a little flimsy at first. And once you get it going, and it gets a little easier. All right. So we'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so now it's holding together. So we got the base of it pretty much together. And then we're going to grab one of the metal support pieces here. Probably helps if you have a pair of pliers, but my hands are fairly strong. I can bend that little tab. So I'm going to do the same thing with this end. And then you'll see that each of these long horizontal rods or support beams has a little slot in it. So the tab that I just bent down on the horizontal one slides down in there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So now the whole thing is way more sturdy, and then we can take one of these base shelf pieces, move the camera out of the way, get it back up here. And there we have the base started. Now if you see where it's not fitting together too tightly, you can always go back with plastic mallet. Hammer them down a little better. I'm going to show you how this piece here goes in, and it is got a marking on it. Can't see it probably too well, but where it says up, kind of engraved in the metal, so you don't know it goes that direction. So, and the way these are made is they've got kind of they're notched so that they fit right on there. So that's down. And like I said, there's some plastic tabs, which I waited till the very end to get them in, but you can probably see one of them right there. There's plastic tabs that go in these holes here. Now, if I did it now with these, I can only do the bottom holes. The top I have to leave open until I get the rods up here to extend further up. So here we go. Get a different, slightly different angle. So let's get the next shelf on it. I'm going to put it roughly at the same height as the first one I put together, which they are adjustable, so if I don't like it later, I can definitely move it. So it's not a big deal. But it's probably a lot easier if you give them the height you want before you start getting stuff put on it. I'm going to let the bottom slot the 11th one. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. So, and then we'll get it down in place. Make sure that I don't know, got a little bit of tension here. No, I'm not getting it right here. Just make sure. Yeah, so it's 11. And this is just getting the shelf at the same height as the first one I put together. Alright, hammer it down. Zoom in. Then we got the long pieces. And at least with this, I don't have to count holes anymore, because I can at least see from the other two where it needs to go. And we're ready for that middle bracing piece. So bend it. So it's perpendicular to that surface. And that's the middle brace. Same thing over here. So now that one's ready for a shelf. And there we go, 2 shelves. So rinse and repeat. Guess it would help if I knew where I laid the plastic mallet when I got done using it. There it is. So, just to make this next one the same height as the one I put together, I'm just going to count from the top of this shelf up. So bottom notch is at the 10th hole. So there we go. Make sure before I hammer it in. Yep. and set it right here so you can kind of get a bird's eye view of what's going on here. I'll show you. Yeah, it looks like they're in. So there we go. Next long horizontal piece. So far I haven't put them in upside down. Learn from your mistakes. That one's being a little stuck. There. So what have I done here? I'm not lining up. So you get it all. You get the mistakes along with the successes, the wins. See what I did here. So the 10th one is the bottom peg on that one. Yeah, I think what it is, I've got this one in the wrong place. Yeah, that's what it is. I put this one in the wrong place, which is throwing me off. I didn't have it the same height as everything else, so no big deal. I suppose I could go grab my 20-ounce carpenter's hammer, but then I'd probably dent the thing all to heck. So I guess if I were to change anything, I would maybe try to weight that a little bit, put a little bit of lead in it or something. Just my 2 cents worth. So let's get this one in the right place. All right. Now we're good. Now time for the next long piece between here and there. And we'll go with the next middle brace. One of these things. So again, just as before, you have to bend the tab. So it's about 90 degrees with that flush side. Same way with this end. So now we're showing that metal piece in there. There's the tab. There it goes through that slot. And I suppose you could bend those tabs over once you put it together, but then it kind of makes it a little harder to pull it apart. A little bit more effort. And And I may end up readjusting this thing after I put it together for this video to make it work better for what I'm trying to store on it. So just wanted to kind of demonstrate how quickly it goes together. And as you can see, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, once you get the shelves in it, and these pieces, so I'm getting ready to make it taller. So that's the reason for that. Same way here. Up. And I guess I could have used a hammer on those, but they slid that on there fairly easy enough. Up. Maybe show it from this angle up. There we go. You got kind of an idea, better idea there. So now it's ready for this next shelf. So we'll grab one. And as far as I can tell, there's no up or down these shelves. You just put them in. Both sides appear to be the same texture. So here it is with 3 shelves on it. Getting ready to add vertical rods so I can bring the height of the thing up. All right. So the goal here is have no leftover parts except for the optional stuff. So let's get a corner piece in. There we go. And then of course now I could put those tabs in to lock them, those locking plastic tabs if I wanted to, but I want to wait until I get it pretty much together, then I'll do that. There we go. It appears to be lining up. So, there we go. So there we are. Time for the next 2 shelves. The narrower ends of it. So if I make it just like the one that I just built a couple weeks ago, so the bottom of this next shelf will be 7 holes up from this bracket. And again, that's just my preference, but I may change that later. Do the next short piece over here. And the long pieces. for the back side. Okay. I don't care if y'all buy one of these shelves, but I mean, they're a nice shelf, but I just want you to visit the website. It needs visitors. So anyway, www.backdoorsale.com. That website. That's mine. And it's not been performing. So, want to get some visitors. Visitors, please. Thank you. Next cross member piece. Then that tab. So that it's perpendicular. Do the same thing to the other side. Okay. So now that one has got the middle piece, which will help stabilize the shelf. So when you put the panel on it, it'll be good and sturdy. I will say this, it's going together a bit faster this second round because it's not my first rodeo. So there we go. You can see it's getting there. Just one more shelf to go. I do need to get these plastic corner pieces at least on the bottom before I get too much further along, I think. So I'll demonstrate by putting one on the top, and you'll kind of get the general idea. And there we go. It's just kind of a little protector to keep the sharp edges, which aren't very sharp, but I guess it gives it a nicer appeal to have that plastic cap on there. So the important thing is probably to have them on the bottom so you're not scratching up your wood floors like I'm probably doing. But this is my office. I'm the one that has to live with it. So anyway, same thing here. Just kind of line the little slots. Got some little slots. Not very coordinated here for some reason. Probably because I'm trying to look through the lens while I'm filming this. Let's see if I can. There we go. That one took a little bit of doing, but it's in. All right. We'll go ahead and get the. I didn't do that one right. There we go. Now it's probably done. Let's look at the back side of this one. Yeah, it looks good. So good enough. One for this top corner over here. It really does take a bit of extra coordination to hold a camera while you're doing stuff. So, all right. And we'll get the top and last shelf on, and then I'll put the the anti-slip plastic locking pegs into these. I'll need to get the corner pieces I just put on the top onto the bottom of these legs too. Those 4 will be for the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get them on there. Well, it's still relatively light. So let's get that one done. I guess it would have helped if I put these bottom protectors on first before I got this far. As you can see, they are sharp enough to cut the paper. So it's probably a good idea to put these on first before you get too far along. There we go. Now we'll go back to this perspective here. We got 2 short ones left and 2 long ones, and a middle brace to go across the middle of the next shelf. So if I put this shelf at the same height as the one I first put together, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 notches up. So 6, 7, 8. Maybe I'll put this one a little taller. 9, 10. I'll put it up a little higher, so it's at 10. And then I still got my rails because I like to lean stuff against them. I wouldn't lean anything real heavy, but just it's there for extra support on something that's light. You probably want to put light stuff on the top shelf anyway, just because it's probably a matter of safety. That's what I'm guessing. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Should be same height. Yep. Okay. There we go. Can't really see much from this side other than you can see the little pegs that need to be seated at the bottom of the holes. So, all right. So here we go. Okay, so something is wrong here. Yeah, I gotta either raise this one up a notch or lower the one I just put in. So I think I'm just gonna raise it. So I've decided this can come up a little bit, a notch. Let's get the other. longer horizontal piece up. And I just need to put that middle piece across the bracing part. Again, as before, I'm going to bend these tabs down so that they're pretty much perpendicular. And then the top shelf. And there we go. So we just need to demonstrate or show everybody how these locking tabs go. Get one out and show what it looks like. This back part comes off, so it goes together. So essentially, I'm going to put it in these holes. Kind of helps to do this part before you start putting stuff on the shelf, which I waited until I had my first shelf loaded, because it does take a little bit of room to manipulate and move your hands around. So putting this thumbtack looking shaped piece in, that's the part that's facing out, and then the back plastic piece fits onto it. So you have something that looks like that. So we'll do the same thing over here on these two. Now we'll struggle with this one. There we go. Got it. I guess it's good that it's that difficult, because you don't want them just coming apart by accident. So there. So now I have those two. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other three corners. So I'll show the back side of it here. Fumbling around trying to get it done. Like I said, it's a good sleeping material. If you get bored with it, I'll try not to be too clamorous. Of course, all the hammering might tend to wake somebody up if you're trying to nap to this. But you know, life ain't perfect, is it? I still don't have that. There we go. I'll show you the back side of that. Got enough light to kind of, you can see it. That's that thing right there. I guess it'd be helpful if they provided some kind of little tool to help snap those snaps on. But that's just my suggestion for an improvement. Because if you've got any strength in your fingers at all, you're going to need it to get these locking tabs together. See, that one still feels a little loose. There we go. I think it just snapped. So now, this is the next one. So this is the last one for this corner. I think I got it. And it kind of helps to twist them a little, I guess. I'm putting them on there. That one seems loose. My suggestion is, if you buy one of these shelves, if you don't have the patience to fool these little plastic snaps, get some panhead screws at the hardware store that fit the holes, and just do it that way. I think they'll probably be a little bit sturdier than these plastic pieces anyway, but that's just my opinion. And then the last one. They do give you extras of these, like I think a couple of extra, probably because people are gonna tend to drop one and lose it. Probably. I've dropped them. So far on this build I haven't dropped them, but the first build I did, I dropped a couple different times. Either the head of it or the whole thing, or the part that goes on the back side. So you get these next. It's a bit of a struggle. That's the hardest part of this whole thing, is getting these little locking plastic rivets. I guess that's what they're called, the rivets. A type of rivet. And if you're going to put these shelves side by side, they do provide, so I can get some light on this. They do provide kind of a, it's a locking kind of a metal pin. So like if you're going to put this shelf next to another one, you can kind of lock them together. Let's put that up. You can kind of lock them together by putting that in there, and then the other shelf would go, you know, you can lock them together with that. I don't know if, without showing you how that would work, but I'm not putting them side by side. So these are what I consider optional parts. But you could theoretically put these shelves, you know, 3 or 4 of them in a row. They give me 4 of these extra little locking tabs, the plastic ones, because maybe they figure the average person loses 4 when they're putting this thing together. Alright, so the only extra stuff is the optional stuff. Like I have extra corner pieces in a bag I haven't opened. And that's just because if you wanted to have, if you didn't put the 2 shelves, put them together as one big shelf, and you wanted to have 2 shorter shelves, and you had enough of these things to put caps on all the corners. So that's why those are extra, and I think I explained these drywall anchor bolts already, that you want to brace the shelf against the wall, you can do that. So I'm going to stand back, get a good bird's eye view of it. There it is. Not a fisheye lens, so you're kind of seeing it how I see it. This shelf right here is pretty much at my eye level, and I'm a 6 foot tall person. I mean, maybe if I put the phone right about here, this is about where I'm looking at this top shelf as a 6 foot person. So you can see it's pretty tall. It's a tall shelf, and I think it's sturdy enough that I can put some heavy stuff on it. Again, I wouldn't advise putting anything too heavy on the top shelf, just because of safety reasons. But yeah, pretty much you could load it up, I think, however you want it to. So this blank space in the wall here behind this chair is where this thing's going to go. I think it's 40 inches. Maybe it's 42 inches wide. I can't remember. It might be 42. I know it's 72 tall when you consider the height of these things. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. And this is the first long format video I've done. Most of what I do is shorts. And maybe I'll do a short on this where it's really just chopped up, but this is a long format. I'll try to probably use the speed feature on my video editor to speed it up a little bit, and maybe edit out some wasted footage where nothing's happening. You know, I may do some of that. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the show. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to show you the business card. Go there, visit this guy. He needs visitors. I don't care if you buy anything, I just need visitors. Just visit the site, that's all. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a blessed evening or morning or whatever. So thank you so much.